Good morning. Here I am again for my fourth stream, and I'm streaming to you from London again, and I'm continuing my walk around the streets of London. Today is going to be a bit more touristically. I'm starting where I finished off last week, which was at Blackfriars Bridge, and I'm going to take you for a walk round through Buckingham Palace, that area, and probably finish up around about Trafalgar Square, somewhere like that. So, it's a nice beautiful morning. It's nice and cool, thankfully, for once. The last 4 days have been terrible here in the UK. I am now going to swing you around, and we are presently sitting between two bridges, but the railway bridge on the left, which is Blackfriars Railway Bridge, and on the right is Blackfriars Bridge, which is the Blackfriars Road Bridge. Some nice tall skyscrapers across there. The one on the left is recently been built. They're appearing more and more now in London. At one time they wouldn't build them at all, but now it's becoming standard here in London. Right, let's start our walk. I'm going to start walking off on the north bank of the River Thames. It's more commonly known as the Victoria Embankment. Just passing under Blackfriars Road Bridge. Good morning, Sam. Welcome in. Nice to see you still around. Oh. The Victoria Embankment, this was built in 1859 to 1875. It never existed before then. It was built because London's sewerage problems were terrible. All the outfall used to just go into the Thames, and the Thames was in a filthy state. So they came up with this scheme to build a sewer system, and the sewer system ran alongside the north bank of the Thames, and that's how this embankment, the Victoria Embankment, came about. They built it over the sewers. So believe me now, is actually a lot of London's waste goes. As you can see, it's a very beautiful morning here. If you look across there, you can see a building with the name Oxo on it. That was actually a power station at one point for the post office, believe it or not. And it's now full of arty, boutique types of shops. And of course you can see the London Eye over there, the big wheel, which I showed you, I think was in my first London stream. This walk's probably going to be about an hour and a half this morning. I don't want to be out too long because I think the temperature's going to go up to about 25 again today, which is quite warm. Yeah, we've had some quite hot temperatures over the last 4 days. The first 3 days it reached well above 36 degrees. I spent the last 2 of them indoors. I just refused to go out in it. This is all new here. This has recently been done. Last time I walked along, you couldn't get around here. Mama Swig. Oh, I'm honoured. Thank you for being here. As you can see, it's a beautiful day here in London. Beautiful morning. It's a pleasant 16 degrees, which is lovely. Wish it was like this all the time. Right, the bridge you see in the distance there, that's Waterloo Bridge. And if you weren't here on one of my earlier streams, that was built almost entirely by women during the Second World War, because all the men were out fighting in Europe. That was built in 1941. Very modern looking bridge for 1941, all made of concrete. Right, we'll continue our walk. Have to go down here. The ABBA song. Waterloo, the one they had in the Eurovision Song Contest, which they won with in 1974, if I remember right. That was based on the Battle of Waterloo, I believe, and Waterloo Bridge was named after the Battle of Waterloo. A lot of things in London were named after battles that the British were involved in. This is quite a busy road, but you've got the added advantage you can walk alongside the river and see the river, which I think is a far better view. I think we've caught the tide going out today, so it's flying that way. Burb Bay. Thank you very much for the follow, it's very kind of you. You can go on little cruises up and down the Thames, and the cheapest way to do it is to use the Uber boat. And it's just like the Underground, you just use your credit card or any payment card and just tap in and just travel on it and get off where you like. It's quite a nice trip, nice cheap trip, highly recommended. Look back to where we just come from. It's the Blackfriars Road Bridge immediately in front of us. And the tall spiky building in the distance, the tallest building in the UK, which is the Shard. Yes, Mama Swig, I am shocked at the number of people that are following me. I have to say I've got Ira to thank for that. She keeps promoting me on her channel. Quite embarrassing, really. I don't think I deserve it, but she keeps promoting me on her channel, and it's very kind of her to do that. So I'm getting a lot of followers from there, and I was even honoured yesterday. Kuma Monster even promoted me on his channel, and I thought that was a great honour as well. So yeah, it's amazing. 85 followers. All I do is walk and talk. It's amazing. As you can see, London Eye just appearing to the right of the London Eye. It's not very quite in the distance, but just to the right of it, you can see the old Elizabeth Tower where the Big Ben is. So this section of the road here is so wide because this is where, underneath where I'm walking, is where the London sewers are, which was built, it's completed in 1875. That was to help with London's sewerage problems. But it's also extra wide because also part of London Underground, cut and cover, was also built nearer towards where the buildings are. So actually this part of the River Thames was quite wide originally. It's wide enough now, but it was even wider. Thank you, Mama Swig. It's very kind of you to say. I do these walks a lot. Since retiring, I was coming years ago, it's now 2.5 years ago. I've decided I've got to keep myself mobile, because if I don't keep myself mobile, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to seize up, and you know, the body just, if you don't use it, you lose it, sort of thing. So I do these walks, and I walk around London a lot. I walk around my own town a lot, and I just enjoy doing it. And that's how I ended up doing the streaming. Because I keep getting told by streamers that people would love this sort of thing. And I must admit, I must agree with them, because being on the other side, being a member of chat, I quite enjoy doing that as well myself, watching what they're doing. Era, of course, being one that I follow quite a lot of. But there are other quite inspiring streamers around. When I took up cycling because of Sarah Bridgewater, I think I discovered her first, when I first started seeing Twitch and stuff. Right. This boat here is the old HMS Wellington. It used to be a convoy ship in the Second World War, and it's been brought up here, and it's just moored here. I have no idea what it's used for. It just seems to sit there. I don't know if people live on it or not, I don't know. There's one of those Uber boats I was telling you about. Great way to see the Thames. Carry on walking along. Did someone tell me about Twitch? No, I just discovered it. Because I've always been a bit of a computer buff at home. I do a lot of my work at home and stuff. I was sitting there on the computer, and I was looking for something to put on in the background to watch while I was doing other things. And I just reading some article about Twitch, and I think, oh, what's this Twitch thing? And I just typed it in and found it, and I just discovered these people, and then I think it was Sarah Bridgewater I discovered. She was, at the time, I think she was in North Wales, cycling North Wales. I thought, well, that's interesting, and I put that on, and I just got the bug then. I just like watching it. Yeah, you're right, even now, no one, lots of people don't know about it. I mean, I've yet to tell my mum I'm streaming, and she'd be surprised. She'd be very surprised, actually, because I've always been a quiet, shy person, and for me to be like this in the forefront talking to people, she'd be well amazed. In fact, she'd probably enjoy the streams, because like me, she likes going around and exploring. But yeah, Twitch. Most people know YouTube, but I used to watch YouTube for other things, more of my interest things in engineering and stuff. I used to watch it for that. But I didn't know live streaming existed, and it's just fantastic to watch. I've seen lots of the world now through the live streams I would probably never see. Ira, this again is through Sarah Bridgewater. I was watching Sarah Bridgewater. She was at Rotterdam at the TwitchCon in 2024, I think it was. Yeah, 2024. And she was inside, and there was, on the stage, Era was singing. And I just fell in love with the voice, and I thought, wow, you know. And that's when I discovered that Twitch wasn't only for gamers and IRL, they also had music on there as well. So I started looking through it, and I just couldn't find her anywhere. Because Twitch's search and recommendations isn't the best in the world. I think it could be better. And all of a sudden, in the live channels, so there was Era there broadcasting. She's broadcasting from one of the park areas from round by the Rotterdam venue, and that's where I met up with Era online, and from then on I just followed her because she started doing IRL. Because the places she goes to, the way she looks at them is a different viewpoint from a normal person, normal tourist, which is nice. Yeah, I think it'll be 2 years tomorrow that I joined Era's community. Classic red London buses going across Waterloo Bridge there. As I said at the beginning, for those of you who didn't see me from the start, this walk I'm going to take you up round Buckingham Palace, up round that way, and then I'll walk back towards Trafalgar Square, and I'll probably end up at Trafalgar Square. As I say, it should take me about an hour and a half tops. I can't see it taking much longer than that. I hope my sound is okay, because I'm terrible. I've not looked back at one of my streams at all. I'm just too scared to look at them. Thank you, Sam. I'm glad it sounds all right. I've touched wood. I've been very lucky with my streams so far. I've not had any disconnection problems. The only problem I had was, I think it was on my first stream when my camera kept cutting out. I think I've solved that issue. I still can't get the start of my stream right. I keep putting the ending screen up instead of the starting screen. I should get that sorted. Right. As you can see, it's opening up to where all the buildings and the touristy bit is. Now I'm going to show you, you can probably just see it ahead of me. Yes, Bummersford, I agree with you. I thought Twitch was purely for gaming. I think it was, in the early days it was more of gamers. But I think it's evolved, and I think Twitch are trying to evolve it more into the IRL world. Eric Cagg, thank you for following, very kind of you. Right, just ahead of me there, you can probably see it, hopefully, is Cleopatra's Needle. It's Egyptian, comes from Egypt. It is over 3,500 years old. There's another one, an identical one of them, back in Alexandria in Egypt. And it was gifted to the UK, excuse me, to mark some of the British victories against the French in Egypt. It's a little hidden gem that not a lot of people know of. A little bit of Egypt in London. That sun's bright. Ooh. Yeah, during COVID, Sam, I was working then. Unfortunately, the job I was in, I had to carry on working. I couldn't stay indoors. I wasn't one of these that were locked down because my job was a safety critical job on the railway. I had to work every day. It was quite interesting because you travelled to work by train. You'd have a whole train to yourself, no one else on it. Just a weird setup. The bridge there, we walked over on my first London stream. There's two of them, 2 footbridges either side of the main Charing Cross Railway Bridge, which you can see a train just crossing now. The footbridges over the side are called the Golden Jubilee bridges. And the one in the middle, Charing Cross Railway Bridge, often called Hungerford Bridge, because before the railway and before those two footbridges were there was another footbridge built by Isambard Kingdom Brunel, which was a suspension footbridge, and it linked the South Bank to where on the North Bank there was a market called Hungerford Market. My son's girlfriend loves Disney. Totally mad on Disney. They go out there quite a lot. Over to the right, the arched building over there is office buildings which have been built above Charing Cross Railway Station. The railway sold the air rights for X amount of millions of pounds for someone to build over the top of their station. They're literally making money out of nothing. I have two children. I'm surprised they don't have a better train service for going to Disney. I think it would encourage more people to use it, although probably in America people use it anyway because they're so used to driving. But here in the UK they're building it's a Warner Brothers centre up not far from where I live actually, and they are doing it so that transport can be caught by train. They're going to have all trains running in there and everything, so they're going to make it accessible to everyone. So I'm surprised I don't use trains more in New York. It's the London Eye, which we saw when I walked my first stream. Starting to warm up already. This boat here is what is known as a paddle steamer. Either side of it there are paddles, which you just can't see, but they're there. And rather than having the usual screw on the back of the boat like they normally have, they use the paddles on either side to move the boat. This was brought down here in 1973. Used to ply the River Humber from Corporation Pier to New Holland Pier as a ferry service for the London North Eastern Railway. It opened initially as an art gallery, became a restaurant, and as of 2012 became a pub. And as you can see, the number of barrels down there on that barge, it's beer delivered. But this is where I now walk away from the river. Trying to avoid the cyclists. Take up a road called Horse Guards Avenue. My intention now is to walk you up to a place called Horse Guards Parade. Horse Guards Parade, many of you might know, is where the Trooping of the Colour is done, which was done a couple of weekends ago. Usually on the King's birthday. All the guards come out in their smart uniforms and horses and everything, and they have a big parade on. I'll take you that way, and then I'll take us into St James's Park, and then I'll head towards Buckingham Palace. All these beautiful buildings around here. Majority of the property around here is all government offices. I prefer London for walking in the morning because there's less people around. Yeah, the place is just waking up and people are starting to come in. It's a little bit busy, but it's not too busy. Once you get beyond 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock time, the tourists appear. All the people going to work appear, and it just gets so busy up here in London. Weather-wise, despite what many think, London is one of the least rainiest places in the UK. They tend to think that, oh, it's always raining in London, always raining in the UK, but London is one of the fewer places where it rains. But the weather over the last 6-7 days has been tremendous. Actually, I can't remember the last time it rained in London. Not when I've been here anyway. Right, it looks like I'm going to have to go around because the entrance I wanted to take is shut off. Opposite there is the entrance to Horse Guards Parade. Ordinarily, you can walk through there and come out the other side. I don't know why it's shut off. I don't think it works on or it's for a reason. So instead, I'm going to have to take you around. So, across the road here. and I'll take you along this way instead. This is known as Whitehall. Any of you from other countries who watch our Remembrance Day on TV, this is where all the soldiers and ex-veterans and everything all walk and march down and lay poppies in remembrance of the First, Second World War and other wars. I don't know if you can hear the bells. Big Ben has just been striking 7. It's now 7 o'clock. Wow. All these down this side are all government buildings. St. Nephira, the Ukrainian flag. Proudly flown above the British government buildings. This memorial here is in commemoration of all the women in World War II who without Britain surely would have floundered, because although all the men were over in Europe fighting the war, the women were doing their bit in this country, keeping the country running by running the factories, etc. Coming here, the security fence is on my right, is Downing Street, and that's where the Prime Minister lives, 10 Downing Street. Unfortunately we can't walk down there anymore, it's all locked off by security. Used to be able to walk down there. When I was a lad, I remember my parents taking me down there and walking down. I'm standing outside 10 Downing Street. Can't get anywhere near it today. This second memorial, this is the cenotaph, and this is the one where all the dignitaries, king, prime ministers, all lay their wreaths in commemoration of those that fought in all the wars. Good morning, Demon. How are you? Welcome to my chat. It's nice to see you here. Again, all this is part of government offices. I will take you through that way. I'm alright, thank you, Demon. Nice of you to pop in and join my stream. I'm presently walking from what was Blackfriars Bridge. I'm going to take you around via Buckingham Palace and down towards Trafalgar Square. I've had to take a slight detour. I was going to show you a Horse Guards parade, but unfortunately, for some reason, the entrance was blocked off. So I've had to come this way. All these buildings here are all government buildings. all part of the British Parliament. The buildings to the right of me, I believe, is a Foreign Office. And these were all built 1700s, 1800s. Building on the right, this particular one here is HM Treasury. Where the business has done all the money. And this here leads me out down onto the outskirts of St James's Park. Another popular place with tourists. It's one of the royal parks. Originally, this was all fields here many years ago. When King Henry VIII was in reign, he converted it to a deer park. And then in the 1700s, it was converted into a royal park. And from then on, it was developed to what we see today. I'm going to just take you around and show you Horse Guards Parade. Now, Horse Guards Parade wasn't Horse Guards Parade until 1996. Prior to that, it was used as a car park. It was a car park for all these government offices. All the civil servants used to park there. In 1996 they changed it, and it's now where they hold a lot of their trooping ceremonies. This to the right of me, where the fences are and the security is, that is the rear entrance to 10 Downing Street. And the red building just in there is 10 Downing Street. Hey Pete, nice to see you. It was on the Sarah stream, I saw you yesterday. The red building there is the Prime Minister's residence, and that is 10 Downing Street. XJX, thank you for following. This wide expanse here is Horse Guards Parade, and if you could smell it here, you know it's recently been used by a lot of horses. Whew. During Trooping of the Colour, over on the back there, they have a huge stand they put up for people to sit and observe what is going on. They do a lot of marching and band trooping, and it's good. It's interesting. A lot of people like it. They like watching the troops in their posh regalia marching up and down. I recall when Era was in London, she saw a parade that was the practice run for Trooping of the Colour, going up the Mall, and she was impressed by it. In fact, she was very impressed by it. Sort of made her day, and it is nice to see. I love it. Always come down to Trooping of the Colour. I did think of streaming it, but the problem is you can't get any decent access without a lot of people being in the way, so I didn't bother. And of course, Horse Guards Parade looks out across James's Park, and up through there, hidden by the tree, is Buckingham Palace, and we will get there eventually. Another monument to the memory of soldiers during the war. London is beautiful, you're right, Demon. I'd like to say it's on my bucket list, but I worked in London for 25 years and I've lived near the area all my life and I love it. People poo-poo it and everything. Right, I'm going to take you this way. I'm not going to go direct to Buckingham Palace because I want to show you Wellington Barracks. I thought it was you I spoke to on Sarah's stream, Pete. I think Sarah's amazing. She's the first streamer I ever watched, and I'm just impressed by what she does. And what amazed me even more when I met her at TwitchCon, first time I ever met Sarah at TwitchCon, and such a lovely person. And so you see her on the screen, you think, oh, this nice, you know, this woman is doing this cycling and everything. But when you see her in person, you think, wow, she does all that. She's amazing. This lake here originally was a canal before all the royal parks were built, and they developed it, they curved it and whatnot and turned it into a lake. But St James's Park is well known for its wildlife. I believe there's 70 different types of birds here that live here. That's without the others that come flying in during the migration period. Nice little hidden away lodge. I have to find out the history on that. I don't know what that's for. Oh wow. Look at this beauty. Wow. Something you don't see every day, chat. Good morning, Heavily Charm. No, that's real. Believe you me, that's real. Oh, what an incredible bird. I'm literally standing 6 feet away from it. That's amazing. Wow. These royal parks in London are full of wildlife and lakes. With the exception of one park, and I shall show you that park a little bit later on. So this was landscaped by royalty back in the 1700s. As a place for royalty to walk around, but at some point it must have been given up to the public, for the public to use and walk through.
this is the state of play.
I can't believe I'm keeping the signal through these trees. It's amazing, you watch other streamers and you see as soon as they hit trees and wooded areas, they lose the signal. Yeah, I've still got the signal, it's fantastic. Yes, Heavenly, I should imagine it's about 18 degrees now here. It's a nice cool morning. It was 25 yesterday, but 3 days prior to that it was over 36 in where I lived. And for 2 of the days I just refused to go out. I shut all the curtains up and stayed indoors. It's just too hot to go out. But today it's nice, balmy morning, lovely. It's nice to be out here. You had to wear a coat, Pete. Where do you live then, Pete? Well, what area are you from? You need a coat because you're cooled down. Wow. I must admit, I've got a fleece on, not a fleece, a hoodie on at the moment, which I might have to take off at some point because it's warming up. As I say, I enjoy these walks, these early morning walks. You're not disturbed by people. This road takes us along to Wellington Barracks. Wellington Barracks is the home of the, I'm trying to think who they were now, the Grenadier, Coldstream, Scots and Irish Guards. They each have a company that's a base there for part of their terms of duty. Whilst they're there, they do ceremony duty, so they're always wearing the posh uniforms. And it's all for doing the changing of the guard, etc. in London. They are professional soldiers, they are proper fighting soldiers, trained to be fighting soldiers. Just that the regiments they're in, they do tours of duty in London purely for ceremonial purposes. Good morning, Grey Troll. Thank you for coming in. I'm presently walking in London. I'm doing the tourist trail this morning, walking around the Royal areas, the Royal TR. Presently I'm alongside St James's Park, which is one of the many royal gardens in London, which are very beautifully looked after. Good morning, Armour Sherburn Tank, nice name. Across here. All the barriers you can see set up alongside the roadway are what have been left out since Trooping of the Colour the other day, and they haven't got around to clearing. This is where many of the soldiers would have marched along here. Did I have breakfast after your workout? After the workout. I always have breakfast first thing in the morning when I wake up. And generally it's just a bowl of porridge. Just to keep me going. And then the walk is supposed to be called walking in my workout. I've never done gym work. I don't like working out at gyms. I never saw the point of it, and I think there's going to come a time where these people that work out like they do now, when they get to my age, they're going to be fit for nothing, to be honest. I think they're going to be worn their bodies out. I've just done moderate exercise, kept myself fairly fit, and keep myself mobile. That's all you need. I don't see the need to go to the gym and run for an hour or whatever and lift weights. I can't see the point in it. To be honest, I'm not sure the human body's meant for that. And when you've got to realise that nowadays your body's got to last, well, for people that are youngsters now, have got to last well into their 90s. I wonder what state they're going to be when they reach that age, or reach even their 60s. But that's just my opinion. That end through there is Wellington Barracks. I say that's the home of all the soldiers that are used for the ceremonial stuff. Good morning, Fiev. Not that I'm aware of, don't think there's any events here today. I'm just here because I'm doing one of my early morning walks. I often jump on a train, because I live only half hour outside of London by train, and I just jump on a train, come into London, walk for a couple of hours and then go back home. It's just a way of keeping mobile. And I'm streaming them now because people keep saying to me, oh, you should stream them. So here I am streaming. I never thought I would be streaming, not at my age anyway. Inside Wellington Barracks there is a Guards Museum. Anyone who's interested in military history, it's worth a visit. Very interesting place. Oh, the crash barriers. The crash barriers are still here because it was horse cars. Sorry, it was trooping of the colour a couple of weekends ago, and it's just taken them time to clear up. Sometimes I don't think they bother. I think if they've got other ceremonies booked at some point in a month's time, I think they just don't bother clearing. Through there to my right is the Victoria Memorial. I'm going to walk this way and I'm going to take this towards Buckingham Palace. Yeah, there is a lot of traffic in London, but this is nothing. It's only 7:30 here in London. Traffic will build up a bit more in this in an hour's time, which you'll probably see if I'm still streaming at the end of this. Am I an Arsenal fan? Am I an Arsenal fan? Arsenal fan. Ah, right, no. You'll be surprised to know that I'm British, I'm English, and I can't stand football. I was brought up on rugby and hockey. The schooling I had, we played hockey and rugby. I've played quite a lot of rugby actually in my time, but I don't really follow rugby like I used to. Main sport I follow now is when it's in season is American football. I grew a passion for that back in the 1980s. And I've been following it ever since, so I quite enjoy that. I actually passed the Emirates Stadium, which is Arsenal's football ground, on my way in on the train. Before anyone asks, jaywalking is permitted in London. Right, we are now entering the area of Buckingham Palaces. And now, on my left, is Buckingham Palace. Now, Buckingham Palace originally was, you wouldn't believe this, a townhouse built for Lord Buckingham. And all it was that front building. But over the years, 3 further wings were added, one on either side towards the back and then one across the back, to form what is today's Buckingham Palace. It wasn't a royal residence until Queen Victoria came into throne in the 1800s, which I can't remember the date offhand. Probably around 1830, 35, 36, maybe 37. And she was the first royal to be in residence there. And since then it's been a place of royalty. But recently, our present king, King Charles III, because they're renovating Buckingham Palace, as you can see by the scaffolding here, hasn't been residing there. He's been living in a place called Clarence House, which is just down the way from here. And he's decided that he's going to remain at Clarence House, and that will be the royal residence from now on. And Buckingham Palace will just become a place for ceremonial duties. So from 1837 to the present day, it's been a place of the monarchy where they resided, but it will no longer be. As you can see by the Union Jack flying above it, the King is not in London. When the King is in London, you'll see a Royal Standard flying up there, which is about 4 times the size of the Union Jack. So you definitely know he's in London. Now, what is strange, anyone notice something missing? Where's the guards at Buckingham Palace? No guards. That's interesting. Very interesting. Oh, I don't know why that is. Sorry, I'm missing all the questions. Is there a cool historic pub I like? There is. But it's not in this area, it's near London Bridge, it's in Borough High Street. I can't remember the name, I think it's called the George Inn, and it's so old. You go inside and it's old Tudor style. Okay, Troll, thank you for the follow, that's very kind of you. This weather's ideal for Mystical Mavie. Thank you for the follow. It's very kind of you. I'll give you one final view of Buckingham Palace. see the sun's coming up. I'm going to take you into Green Park. Green Park's another one of the royal parks. It's unique in that it's the only royal park that has no lake, no buildings. It's mainly trees and only has one type of flower ever in it. That's flowering to do with the narcissi flame, which is better known as daffodils to us English. You're welcome, Demon. I hope it's interesting and you're finding it. Okay. So this is Green Park, and as you can see, it's full of trees and nothing else but trees. I don't quite know the history behind it, why it is like that, but all this park, St James's Park, was all pasture land originally, fields, and then King Henry VIII, when he was in reign, he took it over, converted it all to a deer park and a hunting lodge at St James's Palace, and he used to hunt deer here. And then say in the 1700s it became part of royal parks, and it was for royalty, and then eventually it was opened up to us, the public. I'm still keeping signal, that's interesting. I don't quite know what the guards will actually do. I mean, they are there to protect the monarchy. Well, they're supposed to be there to put them, but then the monarchy's not there today, so. But they're meant to be there to protect the monarchy. Now, I should imagine, because bearing in mind they are fully trained professional soldiers, that if they feel you are a threat, they may well shoot to stop you. See, I wouldn't know whether their weapons are armed or not. No idea. But they certainly are there. They're not there. They're not there just as a, well, I suppose they are as a ceremonial thing. It looks good. It's good for tourism. But I should imagine they do protect. They're there and they will protect. I'm hoping I'll find the right exit out of here, because I want to take you to St James's Palace. It is a beautiful park. It's very beautiful, actually. There's a lot of these parks in London, and I'll show you more parks as my streams go on, as I walk those areas. You wouldn't believe in the middle of London there's a few hundred acres of parkland. Always worth a visit if you ever come to London. The buildings in there are all part of the royal residences. Clarence House is in the background, Lancaster House in the fore. It's where all different members of the royal family live. I believe in Lancaster House, is it Princess Anne? Princess Beatrice? No, that's not. I think that's in St James's Apartments. I can't remember. They all live around in those areas. There's a lot of apartments here for royalty, for their household. Did I grow up here? I grew up 30 miles south, sort of southeast of London, in the Medway Estuary area. Sam, who was on here earlier, I don't know if he's still here, but he said my accent is estuary English. And I had to look it up, and estuary English means that you've got an accent of a Cockney. but of a southeast London person mixed together because of the area you lived in. And I lived in the estuary area, which is the estuaries of London. Medway is where the Thames estuary is also. And I grew up there. I spent 39 years living there. But I worked in London for 25 years. So that's how I know so much about the place. On my breaks, I used to come out and walk through London. It's just nice. I'm lucky because where I live now, which is I live north of London now, travelling in by train is only 30 minutes. Being an ex-railway worker as well, I worked for the railway for 42 years. I've retained rights to travel on the railway for free. So I can travel into London for nothing, which is an added bonus. This is all part of St James's Palace. Typical. Oh, good morning, Baker, Laurie. Thanks for following. It's typical. I wanted to show you St James's Palace, but unfortunately it's under renovation, like so many of the old buildings in London are. St James's Palace was built by Henry VIII, or was built for Henry VIII as his hunting lodge. Big hunting lodge, isn't it? Massive hunting lodge. In the 1850s. That's all right, 1850s. 1530s, it's better. And of course, as I said, St James's Park, the Green Park, all that all were a deer park at the time. But as time progressed, the place was converted and the royalty took it all over. And today, a lot of the members of the royal family and their household all live in these apartments inside here. That's a shame, that. It's a nice building. That is typical. Oh well. I'll have to show you at a later date. I think these residents where Princess Anne, Princess Beatrix and Princess Alexandra all live. They're all members of the royal family. That road there is Pall Mall. Those of you who play Monopoly, that's on the Monopoly board. I'll take you down this way. Go this way. Yep. This all through here is royal residence. Again, it's all a side entrance to St James's Palace. No, I haven't taken a Jack the Ripper tour. I think that's in the East End of London. To be honest, I've never ventured out much around the East End of London. But it's changed a lot these days. From when I remember it, it was all docklands, but now it's all built up and sit there. The Docklands financial district's down that way as well. So I should have take a walk down that way one day. It's a very beautiful morning out here. Great day to be walking around London. It's nice. And this leads back out to the mall. The mall is the road that leads directly to Buckingham Palace. It's a ceremonial road, as they call it. It's where the King and the royal family all parade up down here in royal coaches and whatnot, and trooping the colour. At the end of that, they all march up this road. As you can see, all the barriers are still left out from trooping of the colour. And up there, you can see is Buckingham Palace at the end of the mall. And down the other end is Admiralty Arch, which we will see in a while. Instead of walking straight down, they're going to walk down through the park. It's a nice day. Go back in St James's Park. If they have princes in the top, are they allowed to drive themselves? Well, I know for the fact that the Queen, our late Queen, used to drive herself. She's well known for driving because during the Second World War she was a vehicle mechanic. So yes, they did, and I always remember that her husband, and I can't remember his name, Duke of Edinburgh, he used to drive himself. Prince Charles used to drive himself. Whether they do it on the public road, I wouldn't know. But I do know a lot of the royal family do know how to drive. But just having the name Princess doesn't stipulate whether they can or cannot drive on the roads. I should imagine, like everyone else, they have to pass a driving test. They do drive on public roads. I can't imagine them being granted it without doing so. I'll just take you onto the bridge. I think Prince Charles is the only member of the royal family I've never, Prince Charles, King Charles as he is now, is the only member of the royal family I've never seen. That's Buckingham Palace in the background. As I said earlier, this lake was a canal originally. It went through the lands here, and it was just widened and curved to make it look like a lake. I'd show you the other direction, but the sun is directly in the eyes there, so I can't. Heavenly, you only seen Anne? I've seen Princess Anne. I've seen the Queen many times. I've had the privilege in my railway career to have signalled the Royal Train. When I say Royal Train, a member of the Royal Family has been present on the train, whether it is the Royal Train or not, I couldn't tell you. But I have signalled a member of the Royal Family on the railway before. And nowadays the Royal Family travel by a normal public train. But no one ever knows which one they're going to be on. Only in the background do people know about that. It's kept secret. So this all here once was a deer park, converted into royal gardens. The royal family handed over to the public at some point. It's a beautiful morning, love it.
Obviously that, I'll be there.
can't remember how many royal parks there are in London, and which ones are and which ones aren't. I believe Hyde Park is. Hyde Park's got Kensington Gardens in it as well, which is where the Kensington Palace is. More wildlife. I'm not going to stay here too long, there's too many of them. I don't like geese. I haven't been chased by a flock of them before. They can be quite nasty. Trees are looking good this time of year. You wouldn't believe now how quiet it is. I'm in the centre of London. It's incredible. Are people allowed to have picnics in royal parks? Yes, they can, as long as they tidy up after themselves. There's usually plenty of bins around for them to put the rubbish in. There's nothing wrong with people sitting out on the grass and relaxing, having a picnic if they so desire. No law against it. It's just nice for people to be responsible and tidy up after themselves, to leave it in a fit state for someone else to use. I'm going to take you to the Admiralty Arch, which is just around the corner. It's presently being done up. It was built for Edward VII's, built at Edward VII's request in 1911 for a commemoration of his mother, who was Queen Victoria. So it's been a royal building for a long time, but in 2012, 101 years after, superb government sold off Admiralty Arch for a mere £60 million, and the Waldorf Astoria have bought it, and they're in the presence of converting it into a hotel, of all things. I should imagine it's going to be a very expensive hotel, being the location that it's in, opposite end to Buckingham Palace. Admiralty Arch down there. That's one thing you're definitely not allowed to do, is fish in the lakes of the Royal Park. Licenses for fishing. The only time you need a license for fishing in the UK, from what I can remember, is if you're what they call game fishing. So if you're fishing for something like salmon, you need a gaming license for that. But generally for normal fishing, you don't need a license. But depending on where you're fishing at, you might have to pay local fees to fish in certain areas. Good morning, Zoo Arctic. Admiralty, thank you for following. Very kind of you. Right. So this is Admiralty Arch. Sun's bright. So that is presently in the process of being converted to a hotel by Waldorf Astoria. And anyone who knows Waldorf Astoria know they are not cheap hotels. Amaretto Pirates. Sorry, I got your name wrong. Morning from South East London. Good morning. Thank you. South East London. Any particular part of South East London? I think my alerts have gone off. Good morning, Zoo Arctic. I'm presently in London, for those that are new here. Fortunately, I'm near towards the end of my little walk this morning, but I'll be on for a little while longer. This is Trafalgar Square. Nelson's Column being the prominent feature of Trafalgar Square. And this area opened in the 1840s to commemorate the Battle of Trafalgar, which was a sea battle that Lord Horatio Nelson was in, hence why there is a statue on the top of a column to commemorate that fact.
Sit up to the back.
Bermuda's Duck, thank you for following. It's very kind of you. Welcome on in. Oh, you're in Greenwich. Ah, I know Greenwich well. When I was a kid, I lived in Kent at the time, and we always used to go on school trips to Greenwich, to the Maritime Museum there. It's always a thing to go to where the International Date Line was, where the Greenwich Mean Time line was. It's always a thing to go there. And the Cutty Sark. And I can't remember the name of the other boat that used to be there. I don't know if that's still there. But yeah. How big is London? Depends on London. See, London proper is just a city, which is what I walked on my last stream. And but London is made up of several boroughs. Greenwich being one of the boroughs, funny enough. By train, it's about 10-15 minutes. By tube, probably about the same. But if you're walking, a lot longer. If you're going by car, probably a lot longer still. But London is huge. It's like many cities. London is a name that the Romans more or less coined. Londinium, they called it, in 50 AD. And that was just what is today's present city of London. But as times grow and as places expand and grow out, they take in other villages and towns and everything, and become one. They call it one big area, London. So to be honest, I don't know what the size of London is. I know it's pretty big. Right, this building here is the National Gallery. Founded in 1824. It houses a collection of over 2,300 paintings from the 13th century right up to the early 20th century. What you see is the facade of the original building. The original building beyond it has long gone and been expanded and extended and altered in so many different ways over the years to house the huge collection of paintings we've got. Now all these buildings surround what is Trafalgar Square. That there, which unfortunately the sun might be in the way, is St Martin in the Fields Church. That's a 1700 and built in the 1700s. I come here, there's a view of Nelson's Column. Nelson's Column was erected in 1843. Stands at a massive height of 169 feet, which is approximately 52 metres. The Nelson statue at the top of Horatio Nelson is a mere 17 feet, which is about 5 metres. For the Canadians amongst you, this building here on my right is the High Commission of Canada. That was built in 1827 and has been used for that purpose for almost its entire life. It did shut down at one point, but then one of the Canadian governments decided to reopen it and use it because I believe they had another building somewhere else. But that's where you go for your passports if you're Canadian. You lose your passport while you're in London. That's it. And on the opposite side, which unfortunately is screwed by trees, is South Africa House, which was built in 1933. Same purpose for the people of South Africa. At one time, Trafalgar Square used to be the centre of New Year's Eve celebrations, but now it's down by the wheel, the London Eye. Good morning, time for a kiss. Welcome on in. Sound like I'm from London. Truth is, I'm not a Londoner. The truth is, I am from Kent. I'm a man of Kent. But I worked in London for 25 years, and as a result, I've acquired a bit of the London accent. So I do sound like South East London stroke Cockney, but I'm not. I'm neither. I'm actually from Kent. Well, it's been a beautiful morning. It's been a lovely walk with you guys. so hot, that's untrue. Right, this is me, you're seeing right now. Let's see, I'll put you down there. As I say, it's been nice being here with you. Yes, Sam, I am surviving the heat wave. It's getting. Where's Mrs. Ray? There is no Mrs. Ray. I'm single, and I love every moment of being single at the moment. Hello Healy196, hello and thank you, you're welcome. Cara Vu, nice to see you in here as well. Very nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Right then, chat. Oh dear, oh dear. Single, so I must play around. Yeah, I've had my moments. Let me say that. I've had my moments. Getting a bit old for all that now, though. Right. Been nice seeing you guys. Thank you for being here. I won't raid you because I'm still trying to figure out how to raid, and I've probably no one on I know to raid to at the moment. Sorry to put the phone in front of my face then. This was fun. It was fun, wasn't it? And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Thanks for all being here. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, Sam, for being here. Thank you for watching and putting up with an old kit walk around London. I've enjoyed it. There'll be another stream at some point. Yeah, thank you, Heavenly Charm. Thanks for being here. There will be another stream at another point. It will be London. I'll probably start here and then I'll probably walk around. I don't know, I might walk around Theatreland of London that way. I shall make plans for that later on. But thank you all for being here. I'll see you all next time, hopefully. It's been good. Thank you very much.